Good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, August 5th. It's the pre-market analysis for QOL trading. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up button, like this video. If you go down to the more button or the word more down below, there's a description down there where you can access our website and put your name and your email address in there so you can subscribe to our weekly newsletter that we put out. We put out 20 editions so far, and pretty much goes over the week in review and what to expect for the following week with all kinds of levels and news, whether it's economic news, geopolitical news. Cover the Mag 7, I cover the broader markets, I cover some crypto, Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then any kind of news that could impact our trading for the week. For today, right now, unemployment change 44,000. We'll see what that does to the market. I think there's definitely going to be some moves right there. You have at 9 o'clock, you have ISM service manufacturing. We'll see what that does to the market. So let's get into things right now. Start out with the VIX. And the VIX still below the 20-day moving average, sitting at 1726. Getting a little resistance up here by the 50-day moving average as well. I don't mind that right now. We are elevated on the prices right now, so I would not be surprised if the VIX starts to escalate a little bit and we get some pullback in the equities here. So as long as you support that, as long as you stay under that 1726, I think we're okay. Get into oil right now. So oil didn't quite close this gap down here at call it the $72 range here. We are above the 20-day moving average at let's say $75 a barrel, and below this, yeah, it's $81 a barrel. So I'd like to stay in that range there and help us on the retail side of things. So hopefully uh, the war out in Iran will cease, and then we can get going with some back to some normalcy here. So let's get over to the ES. Making highs here, people. Let's get this bigger here for us so we can see us. All-time highs sitting up here. 76 or 70. I'm having trouble seeing this morning here. $78.0525. Don't have any levels till you get above here about 8,000, little 8,047. So I'd like to see a pullback down here to this previous high, 76.32. Wouldn't be a bad level. We are in uncharted territories right now, so I would not be surprised. You're above the 20-day moving average, sitting all right now 75.47. So a little pullback down to that area to the 20-day and the 50-day moving average would be a nice spot there. Let's take a look at the SPY. SPY, same thing here. I don't have anything for the SPY until you get about this 800, call it 825 level on the upside here. Maybe a pullback into this 760 level would be a decent level pullback here. Have any point controls that are open here, but you can see this nice little speed zone that's here right now. So let's say if you lose yesterday's close, sitting probably about 771, maybe you pull back down here to the call it the 700 level. That'd be a nice pullback long in that area. Get over to the Nasdaq. Nasdaq above the 50-day moving average. I like that. And it's probably going to consolidate a little bit right now. So I would say maybe this 30,030. That would be a pretty decent level here to get above. If you get above that, then you can move back. Then you can move into your all-time highs here. So, but we are elevated right now, so I would not be surprised to get a little pullback right now. So I'm sorry I'm a little slow today. I'm having a little trouble seeing the screens here this morning here, so bear with me. Qs. Let's take a look at our Qs here. Nice push here. Rejected here at 720, 726. Rejected nicely here in the pre-market here. I would say, right, you want to hold this 723.85 level. If you can hold that level, you can continue to push higher. I think if you lose that 723.85, maybe pull back down here to the 716 level. That would be a level that I would watch for a pullback long here. But you could see how it in post market yesterday, how it responded right off of this level and right off of the 50 as well. The 50 was sitting at 715.03. So that's pretty much it right now. It's we're at highs right now, so people are the money. There's a lot of money sitting on the sidelines right now. So all right, let's get into our Mag 7s here. NVIDIA keeps pushing higher. I think they had some news yesterday based on the SpaceX call where Elon Musk said that they're going to be getting all their chips from NVIDIA. So I think that spiked NVIDIA yesterday in the post market here. You can see that little pop up here. 216.83, respecting that right now. I would not be surprised if you pull back to this 211.94 level and even 208.76, and then you got the 50 sitting down here at 205.69. The 100 is sitting, or the 20 is sitting at 204.60. That's actually a pretty decent level to pull back to. We do have an open point of control down here at 183.47. So I would, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to get there today, but those point of controls, they seem to hit for us. As we talked about with Tesla, we had a point of control that hit after 10 months on the downside, unfortunately. Here, so all right, let's keep moving along here. Apple getting some pullback here. I would not mind seeing the Apple pull. You got to hold this 301.97 level. I talked about that yesterday. It was an important level. You held it pretty good, but same thing goes for today. Got to hold that 301.97 level. If you lose that, 289.55 is a level that I'm looking at. And then below that 289.55, you have the 200-day moving average of 278.54 that would come into play. It's also sitting at this 318 level. It's a high from February 16th. Upside, got to get above that 317.40 in order to continue to get upside, but you do have the 20-day moving average at 323.84. So we're below that 20 right now. So popping fades into that 20 is what I'd be looking at. Even though Apple is one of our strongest stocks on the market. Meta pushing up here into the 100-day moving average, sitting at 609.94. I would not be surprised if we get some resistance there. We're sitting right at the 50 right now, called 601.08. If you lose that level, come down here. We have this low here from July 8th at 587. Call 587.94. And then if you lose that level, you got a huge speed zone over here that you can possibly retrace down here to 572.24, just like this speed zone just got retraced, right? Big sell-off down there, all one directional, became a speed zone, and boom, you pop right back up. You filled that speed zone. And now potentially you could be filling these speed zones down here. You have a little tiny one from yesterday, and you've got a bigger one here from Monday, right? So watch your levels there below the 100, and we're hovering right at the 50 today. So got to get above those levels in order to continue to push higher. So you also have the 20-day moving average at 618.92. So if you did pop up there, you've got a bunch of levels up there that could give you some headwind. Google, hold 378.26. You could push into the 390.27 level. If you lose this 378.26 level, 375.35 is your first line of support. And then if you lose this 370.360, I don't have anything until you get down here to this 363.09 level. On the upside here, you got to get above this 390.27 level. If you get above that 390.27, we've got a 404.47 level, which would give you a nice little spot for resistance there. It's an all-time high, obviously, right? So we are below we are above the 50 and below the 20, above the 20, right? So the 50 is sitting at 356.29, the 20 is sitting at 347.91, and the 200 is way down here at 326.72. So when you're above the moving averages, you're looking for pullback long. So any kind of flush in the marketplace, I'm looking for a level to potentially get long when you're above the moving averages until they don't hold anymore. Amazon, let's take a look at Amazon. I think Amazon was pulling back just a little bit and then it kind of consolidating here nicely, right? So Amazon looks pretty strong. We do have the speed zone over here after their earnings call, and then it's it's kind of hovering. The pullback could possibly come down here to this 240s, to this 247 level at some point. But right now, it seems pretty strong. You're gonna have to hold this 272 level. I think if you lose this, I'm going to call it 274 level. I think you can flush down to this 262.07 level. Anything can happen with the economic data coming out. You've got ISM manufacturing coming out at 9 o'clock today too, so that could impact things. We'll see if the markets are stalling out a little bit up here. Maybe you get a little pullback, a little retracement for things. Okay, let's get over to Microsoft. Microsoft, same thing, consolidating here. Not horrible speed zones here. However, there is a little bit of a speed zone here, right straight up, and then potentially gets retraced here. 487.67 is your line in the sand. If you lose that level, 470, 478 is the next level here that I have support. And then if you lose that, you can see these speed zones that are everywhere here. 468.35 would be an all-time high from July 5th of 2024. That is a pretty decent level. I like that 468.51 level to hold. You could see how we were getting resistance right here, and then we popped above it, and we didn't even look back. So maybe a pullback into that 468.35 would be a decent level. If you lose that, I won't have anything until you have 456.16 level on the downside. On the upside here, if you get above this 505.31 level, you can push into that 555.45 level, which is all-time high set at the end of the month of at the end of last month. Okay, let's move on. Let's get over to SpaceX. Had earnings yesterday, the first earnings call. I think it was mostly, it was a positive call, but when it comes to SpaceX, I mean, you're looking at a 10-year period for this thing to really pan out. There's so many hurdles that need to be done. One, lockup needs to be done, and people that are in at the ground level, they're going to start hedging their bets and taking some off the table, as well as, I think they need to have more shares issued because there's not enough float. So, I would be interested in getting into SpaceX if there's a split. They lower the stock price, issue more shares, then that would get my interest. That's me personally. Some people are probably thinking, okay, the bottom is in. So, you can see here after the earnings call, we did close this point of control that was open 123.61. I talked about that yesterday. So that is going to be marked as filled now, but I'm still going to leave that up there because that does seem to be a pretty decent level there, right? So these open point of controls, they become pretty decent levels after they're open, right? Downside here, it's got to hold this 107.01 level. If you lose that, I think you come back down here and try to test these lows again. 104.83 level on the downside there. Okay, let's get into Tesla. And Tesla, here we go on Tesla. Tesla, we talked about this 326.36 level. It's a speed zone. They would probably take us up to 337.24 before you get a little headwind up there. That is April 2026 low. So break and retest on the downside there. However, we do have some speed zones here. So if we pull back to this 318 level, you want it to hold. If you lose to 318, we could be in jeopardy of covering this big spike up that we had here on Monday, right? And if you lose that level right over here, this 310.43, unfortunately, I think we come back down here to this 300 level. And then if you lose 300 level, you got 297.38. So I kind of covered the upsides here right now, but could be consolidating right now here. This is the speed zone that I'm talking about right here that I have here at 326.36. Right, you sell all the way down here on one candle here with no buyers. It becomes a speed zone at some point because these people are covering longs possibly, and then also new positions are being created here, right? So theoretically, if you did get start getting a push here, and you get to this 337.24 and it continues to push through that, it may recap, it may cover this whole entire move here, 347 and possibly 352.64 level, right? And then let's see here. Let's look at our point of controls. Yeah, so we've got a fill point of control of 365.83, and then this 334 was filled. So these are this 334 that was filled becomes a pretty decent level. This is the one that was on the this point of control was open for 10 months and then it got filled. So this is a pretty big level here. So I think if you pop up to that 334, you probably get a little market reaction there. And then if you can get above that, boom, this covers this whole speed zone. It could cover this whole speed zone back up to the 365 area. That's on the point of controls. We have no open point of controls down below us. I could take a peek, but I don't see anything that's open below us right now. Everything is above us, right? So if Tesla does get going, like Tesla can do, we have a whole bunch of point of controls open above us, right? We've got this 408.95. That's a FMOC level here. 424.39. That's an open point of control from the 15th of May. 444.31. That is from January of this year. 478.39 is from December of last year. So great open point of controls on the upside here for Tesla right now. But it's going to need some help in the news, I think, for Tesla. So that is going to be that's the levels for Tesla right now. What are we going to do for today? For today, I'm going to have the 330 calls up there expiring today. I'm going to start with that, and then also the 220, the 320 puts that expire today as well. So these will be up there to start the morning, and then we will see how the morning progresses and what we're going to do with those strike prices. Anyways, again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, like this video. Go down in the description below so you can join our Discord community and get access to our ORB Scalper. I'll be making another video on that to go over things in more in depth. I also plan on adding some things to the code that will help with identifying trading on the breakouts and the false breakouts. So anyways, hope to see you in the trade room. If I don't see you in the trade room, I will see everybody tomorrow morning. Have a great day.